develop in new actions, to develop in a new behavior, to develop in a new place in your heart to have more empathy and concern for other children or other people. So let's get to the admitting. The admitting. Ask your child, did you bully someone? Do you know what bullying is? Did you make those comments? Did you put your hands on that person? And when you did that, why did you do that? And allow them to explain. It's okay. Allow them to be honest. Allow them to have reasoning, because those reasons, those explanations is going to allow you to break apart the understanding of your child's heart and why they are bullying or why they are choosing to bully. The next thing we're going to get to is leaning towards solutions. Leaning towards solutions. We're going to talk about the disciplinary, but I'm talking about leaning towards solutions. What you will find out in this video and several other videos that I create is that we're about alternatives and positive solutions. Now, we all know, those who are old school, we know that we got our butts whipped, we got disciplined with the belt, we was being hit, was being yelled at, screamed on, like all those old ways of doing things. We're going to develop a alternative in 2021 to develop more of an empathy in our kids rather than a stopping in our kids. Because when a kid stopped doing something because they was beaten to submission, or they was yelled at, or they was threatened, they find other ways of doing it without getting caught. It doesn't develop them the proper way into an awesome teenager or to an awesome adult. It develops them to be more deceiving, more tricky, and then they become more angry in other areas in their life because they was beaten into submission. Now, we understand spare the rod, spoil the child, but there is some alternatives in understanding that disciplining your child with the growth of empathy and conversation and intimate solutions that they can make applicable at a young age will grow them way further than beating them into submission. So we're going to talk about that today. So I want to get into the first disciplinary action. Why is it wrong? When you're talking with your child, we want to encourage you once again with empathy, encouraging them to understand why it's wrong. Why is it wrong to bully? Why is it wrong to call someone names? Let's put the shoe on their foot. If someone was taking your lunch money, if someone was pushing you around, even doing a little bit of role playing will allow them to really get a grasp of what it feels like to be that person that they're bullying. So I want to encourage you to encourage them to understand why it is wrong. That is one of your disciplinaries that we would love for you to use in this video, why it's wrong. Work with them for a while with that. Get them to see and to feel that what they're doing is wrong. Even if they don't know how to stop it yet, that's okay. We're okay with that right now. We're in the stage of admitting, and we at the stage of identifying and recognizing that what I am doing is wrong to others. It's wrong, period. And it's not tolerated, nor is it appropriate. So the next point we want to get to in our disciplinary is, why are they doing it? Why are you bullying? Why do you feel you need to talk about this person? Why do you feel you need to push them? Why do you feel you need to say this and do that? And as they're explaining, be cool, be relaxed, have the conversation with them. It's going to help you later to understand how to work on those areas. And those areas might be, they may be getting picked on, or they may be getting harassed. Someone may be sarcastic to them. Name calling may be around them more than you think. Attacking people may be popular, may be the trend more than you think. And when they start to express those things, before you say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, you want to be able to understand, oh, that's why you're doing it. Because maybe I'm not encouraging you as much as I can at home. Maybe I'm not saying positive affirmations as much as I can. Maybe I'm not hugging you as much as I can. Now, we're not saying that you don't love your children. We're not saying that you're not a good parent. We're not saying any of those things. What we're saying is there's another level of affection. There's another level of saying positive affirmations that we all as parents can get to or go to make some adjustments in how our kids feel about themselves as they're growing up. That's all that is. So why are they doing it can be a good way to understand the reasoning behind picking with this person, or the reason they have to be sarcastic or have to be mean, or their jokes always have to be negative, because it says a lot about what they're feeling about themselves inside. The third one is the one that I think a lot of parents been waiting for. We talked about we used to get beatings, we used to get hit with the belt, we used to go to our room, we used to get hit is the main thing that I'm mentioning, but I want to talk about this third disciplinary action, and it's called remove and replace. Remove and replace. Now, remove is based on certain punishments, certain consequences that lines up with removing, whether it's cyberbullying, picking with someone online, threatening someone, cussing them out. Start to remove and take their devices, whether it's the phone, the iPad, the computer. You want to remove those things for a certain period of time to let them know that these things are privileges. You're not guaranteed to have those. I can take these away forever, especially if you're using them in an abusive way. So you want to remove. You definitely want to remove. Now, in removing, we also want to do some replacing. Now, replacing means you can increase their level of chores. You can increase their level of taking out the trash, washing the dishes, cleaning the house. Every time you're around your brother and sister, every day I want to hear you tell me one thing that you like about them. I want to hear you give them a compliment at 5 o'clock. I want to hear you help them with their homework. I want to hear you doing something for them. I want to see an increase in you serving and helping your brothers and sisters, or even when you're outside, I want to hear more compliments. Now, when you remove those devices and you remove those things, anything that they can use to hurt someone, you want to replace it with chores and services. It's all about growing our kids, growing them to be helpers of one another, to having empathy, to learn how to lift someone up rather than to tear them down. So you want to remove and you want to replace. You can remove allowances. You can remove going out to certain places. You can remove buying them certain things, promising them parties, or having company over. You want to remove those things. But when you remove them, you want to replace them. Whether it's a temporary punishment or long-term, you want to replace them. You want to replace it with more conversations on the couch with you if the company can't come over. You never want to just take everything away and have them isolated in their room. You never want to do that. You don't want to just strip them from something just to discipline them and leave it at that. You want to remove and you want to replace. Last but not least, one of the disciplinary actions involves us as parents/guardians. We want to display positive words and actions in the atmosphere at home. Now, what that means is we want to be the example. We want to say more affirmation, more polite things, whether it's to our spouse, whether it's to our other children, whether it's to our brothers, their uncles, their aunts, their grandmama. We want to, again, you're probably already doing these things, but it's another level of commitment that we can go to if our child is bullied. If our child is bullying, what we normally do, we might have to do ×2, or we might have to heighten it a little bit so that new habits can adjust old habits. So the more the atmosphere in the house is loving, the more the atmosphere in the house is positive and encouraging, the more we're complimenting our child, the more we're encouraging them and motivating them, and when they do something, we celebrate them, the more we spend time having conversations, asking how they feel on the couch, This is pushing out that bullying behavior or pulling in the behavior of being positive, the behavior of being gentle, the behavior of having empathy for others, the behavior to love people as you love yourself in a good way. This is Roshan Lindsay. You were tuned in to Leave a Message. If you have a question, please call us at 757-447-4238. If you do not have an anti-bullying match card game, please get you one. They're only $19.99 and you can purchase those at antibullyingmatchcardgame.com. See you next episode. Peace.